Hey guys, today we're going to be working in the food forest. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour. We're going to plant some stuff. We're going to tell you what we've got planned, what we're intervening on. But first we're going to plant some yellow raspberries, raspberry ivories. Now we're planting these in Evelyn's corner. We're planting one in this row and then one in that row down there. They're going to be kind of an understory plant. The reason for the yellow ones is because the birds, they don't like them. I've had a big row of yellow raspberries down the bottom, tried to move them when I'm not supposed to move them, and then they all died. So that's my fault, but I'm getting them back because they taste good and the birds don't get them, so they're a plus. Let's plant. Okay, so those yellow raspberries are planted. Just wanted to show you what we've got actually in Evelyn's corner. This was kind of our first planting area. I've got an acacia here, tithonia down here. It's all supposed to be sport for this white spotted tree here, which seems to be doing all right, but it needs a lot more grass and tithonia around it. So that's one thing I'll be doing in spring, kind of trying to jam pack this area with support species for that tree. In the next row, it's pretty much just turmeric, a banana and an acacia. Again, it needs way more in it. And I've got, like within all these rows, I've got the banana grass and the tithonia kind of, as you can see, it's getting very like jungly in here, which we want. I want this little microclimate to be like this. And this next row here, I've got banana, I've got a tamarillo hiding in there with the acacia. I've got an American pawpaw down here, which isn't growing that much. I've got the yellow raspberry I just planted, eucalyptus, and then I think it's just a banana. Another support row. I've got a babaco down there by the banana, yellow raspberry, I've got a guava underneath the acacia, and then I've got another tamarillo here that's getting smashed by aphids at the moment. Definitely on the to-do list. And I have a little blood orange down here, just underneath, probably not getting enough sun. As we go around that row, plenty more tithonia. This is probably the most jungliest support row there is. And just behind it here I have a Japanese raisin, I have elderberry, I have American pawpaw, a chapotacaba, which isn't looking the greatest, to be honest. Another acacia, another babaco, rose apple, little tiny guava, another acacia, and I think another rose apple with the banana. And yeah, it still needs to be like way more jam-packed. Got another row here of support species, and then I've got my banana up there. I think this is a cherimoya over here. Another little guava, eucalyptus, guava. Got an inga bean here. One day it's going to take off, hopefully. I think it's pepino plants up here. Another banana, another babaco. I think it's a babaco cross, this one. Another eucalyptus. There's another guava in there. I think that's a mulberry in there, and Japanese raisin in there. And then I have all this comfrey all on each side of the row to help with weed control and to use it as a chop and drop as well. And then around the corner I have another support row, which the tithonia is getting quite big up here. I am a little bit unsure whether I should do a big intervention, a big chop and drop, because one reason it's good is to let the sun in winter to all those plants that need it, and one reason it's bad is because if I chop and drop them, they're getting vulnerable to the frost and to the wind. So I'm tempted to just leave all this quite jungly until it gets to spring, and then I can do a chop and drop, and yeah, hopefully they get past that frost all right. Most of them I think can handle a little bit of frost, but I think the better to be on the safe side to not chop and drop it. I like the look of the jungle look anyway. Right beside Evelyn's corner was the first tree we did plant with Evelyn's placenta, is this black sapote. Now it hasn't really kicked off super duper yet, but I have like chopped and dropped this sugarcane, bana and tithonia, and with lawn clippings and with goat manure, rabbit manure, chicken manure quite a few times, so there should be a lot of worm life underneath there soon. So I'm guessing it's just going to like take off at some point, but I don't know if it's maybe this old plum tree, its roots going down the ground, maybe it's inhibiting it a little bit, but time will tell. And this tamarillo did come back to life after last winter, so it's doing pretty good. And then the snow globe guava here, that's loving life as well. But yeah, this is kind of like a guild rather than like a row, but I'm not going to chop and drop that. I'm gonna let that get nice and full of life before I do anything with that. So next up, past where we're going to build the cabin, we have the girls area. Now the girls haven't done much here, to be honest. They have basically let me plant support species, so like the tithonia, a few bana grass, and we did do a shelter belt of bana grass all on the sides. Hopefully they get big and stop the wind a little bit. So it's just pretty much bana, tithonia and bananas in their rows. But as the bananas get good, it'll be good for the seedlings anyway. They can kind of they'll get a bit more shade with the bananas, and if the bananas become an issue, I'll just chop them down and they'll come back anyway. But what is exciting is the girls have their first pink banana flowers. They're inedible, you can't eat them, but they're pretty cool, and you can plant them from seed as well, even though they've got a few pups from there. So they're so we're working super hard to try to keep them from the ducks and the geese and all that from eating them, but so far they're surviving, so that is awesome. But yeah, there's not much to see in the girls area apart from bananas. So up here on this big pad, I'm thinking I'm going to plant something here next year. I'm thinking I'm going to plant corn or maize or something like that up here to make use of the space, because it's probably going to take a few years before we either build our big dream greenhouse up here, it's going to be like a dome, or we build another cabin up here, because we have got a few kids and they might want to move out of the house at some point. It'll be cool if they're still on our land and helping out too. Up here we have Theo's nook, so it's pretty much, I haven't even mowed in here, let alone planted anything else in here, but that's going to happen come spring. I'll be planting some support species for them, but yeah, it's been untouched. And same with Jasper's curves up here, completely untouched. It's just a bit too much with all what's going on down there to be able to come up here and do it, but support species will be next. And then if they want to start planting tropical stuff, they can do, or any like fruit trees, even apples and pears and stuff like that, they can, but it's just a bit too much for me. Over here we've got Adina's zone D, and we have been planting a few citruses. So she has got a kumquat here, she has got a mandarin quat here, and she's got a few different types of finger limes around the place. And but I'm thinking, because her one's looking the most yellowest out of everyone's, I'm thinking when we done all the earthworks, we probably took a lot of topsoil from this area, so I'm thinking that's why it's not as lush as some of the other areas. But a lot of her support species like tithonia and bana and that, they are slowly kicking off, and she does have some like figs and some guavas and some chirimoyas and that in here. And we also planted our first monstera in the food forest. We do want a few more monstera, we do want a few more Albanese bananas, but we're going to wait till next spring because it's crazy, we've got no time. I've got other stuff like building a bridge, building a table that I've got up my sleeve at the moment, so the food forest is just getting put to one side, let alone the garden. So over here is my terraces, so they're built up, it's like 3 terraces, kind of awkward shapes kind of thing. But I've only got support species, banana, banana grass, tithonia. I haven't even got sugarcane in here. But everything's looking pretty good. And the only odd banana I do have is Rajapuri. Like the rest is just your normal Mitsuluki. But I've been trying to keep it tidy and mowed. And now grass season's pretty much over. We're coming into winter. I'll be able to keep up with all this mowing pretty easily. When I do come down to this end of the terraces, I have planted some Japanese raisin over there. I have planted, I think there was a lucuma, maybe it's dead up there, it just looks like a stick at the moment. And I did plant one avocado over there. That's probably the only thing I have planted in here. So next up we walk down into Adina's new passion fruit trellis we built the other day, which this side, the vanilla passion fruit, is still alive. This side I think is dead. Hopefully it comes back to life, but it's looking pretty dead at the moment. I've got a backup one in the greenhouse, so I'll have to see if that one's still alive as well. But as we come down here, it's just all bananas. She has Cavendish bananas down here. She has Blue Java bananas down here. She has Cavendish bananas down there. And then she's got one darker red banana over there. And the rest is all Mitsuluki bananas. And this terrace up the top here, that's all hers as well. Mostly support species too, nothing special. But the only thing she's got the difference of is she's got tree lucerne over there, and some of it is growing mighty big. Well, luckily we tied it to the reinforcing bar because they were pretty much just falling right over, so we pretty much saved the tree lucerne by doing that. But yeah, this is her red darker here, so it hasn't grown too much yet, but yeah, we'll see how it goes getting into the winter. Okay, over here, these are my first alleys I built, and this is becoming a jungle of tithonia at the moment. Tithonia is just going everywhere, and again I'm still unsure whether I should do a big chop and drop or not. This side of the alleys there is nothing special at all. Well, I've got one blue java there, some yukon, but all back there, that whole tree row over there has no fruit trees at all. But when we come from over there up to here, there starts to get a few things, like I've got a mulberry down here, and there is a Japanese raisin come back to life there. There is some turmeric under there. There is a tropical apricot there, some Queensland arrowroot, some more Japanese raisin, and a few more things hidden in there. But it's definitely nothing to brag home about. Over in this alley here, you can get past the bananas. We still have our loquat tree. Hopefully next year we can maybe start getting some loquats off it. Down here, I think there was, I think this one here is supposed to be an American pawpaw. I might have to weed that a bit. I think I've got to come in here with the weed whacker because this grass is getting pretty long. I have a tamarillo here, and then it's just tithonia, bana, have a mulberry, have a babaco, have a pomegranate, eucalyptus, bana, tithonia. And the next one I do have some guavas, so we're just waiting for these to go yellow. As soon as they go yellow, they're going to be all gone because the kids have been coming here like every second day checking on them, and we thought they were going to be like small, but they're actually getting some size to them, so it's pretty cool. See how actual big they get. Right next to it I have planted a cherimoya, and then there's eucalyptus and bana, and then that's the pumpkin patch. So these rows are right next to the pumpkin patch. Down on this bottom row I've got a lucuma tucked in over here by the spana grass and by the banana with the tithonia. All this is vetiver grass all in front of it, and I love it. It's like it kind of keeps the erosion from happening when it floods. Like the flood water is getting sent off into the ditch over there rather than like coming in and just flooding all the good topsoil off. So I'm really loving that for that. And like these roots go way down, and I'm going to propagate it to stop some erosion over by the creek line as well, where we build our bridge. But what else we've got in here? We've got some white spotty. I think I planted a Suriname cherry, and then there's just some big Tithonia plants. I have got another white spotty here, Casamora, and I think there was there's another Babaco plant down there with some Yukon. And then this is probably highly debatable, but this is an Australian blackwood tree. So it's a nitrogen fixer, but apparently they get all sprawly and everything, and they're quite hard to maintain, and they're like a pest coming from underneath. But it's just a trial. If it doesn't work, I've created a pest in my own food forest. So what could go wrong? Over here is where the ducks live. So they're fertilizing all these banana trees here. They're doing a fantastic job, plus they're keeping the grass down, and they're actually eating the pups as well. It's not that good, them eating the pups, because this down here, this was a red darker, and it was about that tall. So I have got two little pups here, but I've kind of been protecting it just with this tire here and this, and just with the wood on it. Now you might be laughing, but this was working until they took the wood off, or maybe Enzo was chasing ducks in here and got the wood off, and then they ate it again. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to put like a net around it with a stake to actually stop them from getting it. I'm going to move them actually soon. I'm going to move them over to Adina's area, which you can just see through these alleys over there. The only thing they could eat is the Tithonia, so I'm trying to just get things bigger and make sure there's no bananas that they can actually eat, and then they will be moving. But these guys are doing an awesome job, aren't you guys? Yeah, except for when you're in the food forest eating seedlings up that way. And no, we are getting no eggs from them. Not yet anyway. Probably end of winter we'll start getting eggs, hopefully. So right next to where the ducks are, you can see that fencing over there. That's where they're contained in, even though they do get out. We have our trellis, which I tried planting bottle gourd up direct on the ground. It did not work. Maybe all ducks, geese, everything was just smashing it, and I think the weed pressure as well. But I have now put all these pipes here, and I'm planting granadilla passion fruit here, so like the big yellow passion fruits. So we'll see how they go, see if they go through winter. Worst case scenario, I just get some more passion fruits in there, plant them over winter. But I'm pretty determined that this spot is going to be a passion fruit spot, and it's going to be pretty hard for the weeds to get all the way up that pipe. So I'm crossing my fingers, this is going to be a good plan. We've got a big trellis to grow up too, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. Next to that is my most notorious banana patch. These trees have done so well, and there's about 15 trees in here. There's blue java, there's orinoco, there's goldfinger, there's mitsuluki, there's Samoa. There's a few different types up here. This one up here is a blue java, so I'm just waiting for these to actually go yellow to try them. I'm not sure if they actually will taste any good or not, but that's pretty cool. I've got a blue java there. I've got another bunch up here, got another bunch over there, another bunch up there, another bunch, I think you can just see them through there, and there's like a goldfinger right in the corner down there. There's not going to be many bunches ready like right now, but I have to say, out of this patch of 15 trees, we have probably got over 16, 17 bunches of bananas this spring and summer out of here. So some of them were like overwintered bunches, but there was a lot that we got out of this patch, and this is 15 banana trees, our first 15. They've been here maybe 3 years. Considering I'm up to 150 banana trees now, 17 times whatever that is, that's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna be bananaed out, but that's a good thing because we all love bananas. This is the last area of our food forest. This is our Appletopia, I like to call it. They just have, I have got one in your bean. It's never growing. Give me some advice, because that thing has like been 2 years now, unless it's getting all its roots down deep in the ground. It has not grown like it's probably put on like a tiny bit of new little shoots. It may be my own fault for not weeding it out properly in that, but this area is going to be a little bit different because it's more of a temperate area, being apple trees. They actually like the cold, they need the cold. So I am going to do a big intervention in here. I'm going to chop and drop all the banana grass, all the tithonia, all to the ground. So pretty much all you're going to see is apples. I do need to eventually plant some more inga beans in here because they need a nitrogen fixing plant in here, but this whole row is just pretty much just for supporting apple trees. I do have bananas in here. I'm pretty sure they were Goldfingers. I think there's about 8 going right down this alley, and they actually quite like it here because they get the wind shelter from this big tocha tree here, and they get the wind shelter from all these bananas over here. So they are loving it. And the geese, they only get out on the odd occasion and come in the food forest, but they haven't harmed anything yet. So that is pretty much my food forest tour. Hope it didn't bore you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got to see what we got going on here and what we got planned. Maybe I didn't give you guys all of what I'm going to do in here, all the plans, because then I'd be giving everything away. We do have a lot of plans for the food forest, and the kids hopefully next year are going to get involved quite a bit. So stay tuned for that. Until the next episode, I'll catch you guys later. Look out.